We live in a world where original content is seemingly very, very hard to come by. This world is now made of remakes and rewrites and spin-offs and this, that, and the third. Original content isn't flourishing in modern day, and that makes sense. Studios are trying to cash out on their money, and they're going to go with the formula that they know works. At least that's what they think they're doing. Now, with that being said, I have historically talked about on this channel how I'm not really the guy or the consumer that complains when things are being remade or spin-offs or this, that, or third, if it comes with something interesting or intriguing. Now, oftentimes they don't, and that's not a lie. That's just it's why studios are criticized as much as they are, because usually whenever a remake or a rewrite or a spin-off is made, it's usually not thought of in a similar light or care. We're being given some pretty good-looking spin-offs as of late. HBO has The Penguin that just came out. I'll do a review of that series whenever it ends, but the thing that I want to talk about today is the spin-off in the John Wick movie universe, Ballerina. Now, one of the very first episodes I ever did of Ian Talks, might be the very first episode of Ian Talks, is I did a very small review of the John Wick 4 movie that came out. And it wasn't a very long video, it was pretty short, it was only like a minute or so, but I sat there for a minute and I pretty much rode the cock of the people who made John Wick 4, because that movie is fantastic. It's one of my favorite movies that have come out in recent history that I can remember, and that entire universe from the very first John Wick movie to the fourth one is all great. Obviously, we all know that the action of John Wick is absolutely phenomenal. Keanu Reeves, we all love Keanu Reeves. But the world building in the cinematography of the John Wick universe is something special. It takes the time to flesh out New York in that assassin neon world in a way that is very intriguing and interesting. And even though now we know that we're probably getting a John Wick 5, I think a lot of people are skeptical because John Wick 4 seemed to end off in a perfect way, but if you're fucking 4 for 4, why not go 5 for 5? And it doesn't, to me, the John Wick universe is already so great at doing that, you might as well just go ahead and nail number 5 right on the head as well, because I think they can make it great. However, controversy struck. This was either after John Wick 4, after the release of John Wick 3 Parabellum, I can't remember, but they started announcing that they were going to be doing some John Wick spin-offs, a Continental show, and criticisms and skepticism started to creep into the world and the audience a lot. And even myself, because yeah, John Wick 1 didn't have a massive budget, but it also didn't need to really build out that world a lot. But what John Wick 4 did to the best level, which is what I love about that movie so much, is that they were able to use the budget in their favor to create that world and that look and that feel. It is gorgeous. I guess I was afraid ultimately that if we were going to do a spin-off show or a spin-off movie or a spin-off whatever, it wasn't going to be given the same push as the other ones to make it look as gorgeous and as beautiful and as taken seriously as it is. But we just got the trailer for a new John Wick spin-off movie, Ballerina. I didn't really know much about this movie. All I really heard was about the spin-off, the Continental spin-off, and then some other variations. However, did the Continental spin-off get canceled? Did I hear that correctly, or am I making that up? But anyways, I didn't really know that Ballerina was the direction they were going in. I actually didn't hear about this that much until the trailer came out. I just knew John Wick spin-offs were coming. But it seems like this is going to be a movie, Ballerina, taking place. The main character, don't know much about her, don't know much about the actor playing her. Oh, it's a lie. It's Ana de Armas. I knew that. I did know that. Why am I making that shit up? I did know that. What the fuck am I talking about? Great choice, by the way, for a lead actor to do this. Really good choice. Anyways, this movie's taking place in between John Wick 3 and John Wick 4. It is meant to serve as a person who is coming from the same camp that John Wick was trained in. She's one of the ballerinas, I believe. At least that's what the fucking title of the movie is perceiving it as. Ian McShane's coming back in it. It is Lance Reddick's final performance in a movie. He's coming back. Norman Reedus is in this film. Is pretty awesome. Love that. And even on top of that, Keanu Reeves is making an appearance in this movie. My assumption is that he's not going to be doing a lot in this film. This is probably just him kind of doing some recuperating in between 3 and 4, and she just happens to run into him. Maybe he's in a small action scene. Who knows? But he is in this film. The worst thing that Ballerina could have done was not bring back any of the original characters from the original movies and just kind of try to world build this on its own. Just say, this happens to be in the John Wick universe, and then just kind of go with it, and then the movie doesn't feel anything like the John Wick movies. However, they're doing what they should. They're using the established characters in that universe not as a crutch, but as a kind of in the background help to provide context and build this world, which Ballerina is doing. It's exactly how spin-offs and these movies should be done, is that they shouldn't be on their own trying to provide a world-building experience. They should be using the already established world to help bring in context and explore and expand and build the world. Keanu Reeves being in this movie, Ian McShane being in this movie, The Continental and Lance Reddick being in this movie, my guess is they're going to make a combined screen time of somewhere in between 5 to 10 minutes if you're generous. But that is more than enough. Ana de Armas is a phenomenal actor, and I believe I'm pronouncing her last name correctly. I could be 100% wrong. We all know who she is. She's in fucking a lot of different shit. But if Keanu Reeves is going to do the 5th one, is probably 1 foot out the door. He's pushing 60. How much longer can he do this? Who knows? If you build up these characters and you make them likable enough, you could have the John Wick world live on for a very, very long time. My guess is that's what they're trying to do with Ballerina, is it's a step in that direction. It's almost exactly why the Penguin show is going to do great. It's just building that world out even more than the Batman already did. Breaking down the trailer, art style and cinematography seems to be there in full force. It looks gorgeous. It looks like a great movie. The action seems to be there in full force. John Wick has the best action out right now. They do phenomenal because it's not shaky cam. It doesn't rely on a lot of shaky cam stuff, which is a big criticism of the Monkey Man movie that just came out. It seemed to be kind of that John Wick style direction. However, it leaned too much on camera tricks and shaky cam. The John Wick movies have fantastic action and do not need that. Ballerina, I'm hoping it goes in the same direction. It would be a fucking ginormous shame if it didn't, but it looks good. It looks like a step in the right direction, and I'm incredibly excited to see what they look for it or do with this. In the show or in the trailer, the action looked great. Sound design felt fantastic. The action, I know the fucking word. I just can't think of it right now. Choreography, that's the word. Looked great. I think Ballerina could be fantastic. Maybe that's a bit much, but it looks incredible. Even if the movie's not as good as the John Wick films, that's okay. You just need this movie to be good and build up the world in different ways so we can keep making these films. I just want to make this video because I don't feel like enough people are talking about the Ballerina movie, because it does look really good, and I think it's something to be excited about. Especially when it's not like movies are coming out in droves right now, or interesting things that we can all sink our teeth into. I know everybody's holding out hope for the Fantastic Four and Doomsday and Secret Wars, but we're a couple years from that. So what are we going to get in between? We're going to build out the John Wick universe a little bit with Ballerina, and that sounds incredibly interesting, and I love it. Another film that I guess came out that I talked about a few months ago, the Joker film that I thought was going to be incredible. I'm going to see that this week. That's going to be your Ian Talks episode next week, as I'm going to do a little review of that movie. I'm not hearing great things, so I'm a little nervous. But fingers crossed that, that's just critics and reviewers being wrong. Yeah, Ballerina, let me know what you think about it in the comments down below. I think it could be really good if they give it the same care and respect that the John Wick movies have. But yeah, that's about it. I'll see you in the next one. Peace, love, adios. Bye-bye.